Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back at the Queen's Table podcast. I'm your host, Marissa J, and I understand some of you guys have been asking, where have I been? We didn't have a show last Friday, and yesterday was Wednesday, and I didn't put out a show. There's reasons for that. There's been a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of organizational stuff. Events that I've been, that I'm going to, the venues have been changing. It's just a lot of things that are happening. I'm, trying to deal with the website by myself. This podcast is slowly starting to turn into a 2-person job. I need help. So if y'all want to help me, if somebody wants to help me, it would be for free because I can't pay you. But if somebody wants to help me, help me out, help a bitch out. Also wanted to spend time with my family. I haven't, the way my work schedule is, and I know I'm about to pick up a second job. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really stressful. And I may need to cut back to just doing one episode a week because it's looking like that's where it's going. But yeah, I wanted to spend some time with the kids and do more stuff with them. So during the times that I would be recording or editing or outlining or whatever, I spent that time with my kids. So there's and on top of that, there's a ton of personal stuff going on. Lots of personal things. What's up with my mic? Hold up. Is this better? This is better. I probably should have mic checked this. I didn't. Because this is impromptu. This is impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing this episode. I really wasn't planning on doing an episode until tomorrow, which was the episode that I was going to do last Friday. And time ended up just getting away from me. But anyhow, this is super, last minute because of something that happened last night. Now, like I said, there's been a lot of stuff going on, and there's also a lot of personal stuff going on as well. Because I don't really be talking about my personal life like that. And when I say, y'all know when I mean personal, I'm talking about relationships and stuff. I don't really be talking about that, but stuff is happening, and I kind of need to just take a step back from a lot of things and just surround myself with positivity. And my kids are positivity. That they're positive. They're the most positive things in my life. So just need to step back and do all of that. But okay, so like I was saying, this is an impromptu show because of something that happened last night. Let me go ahead and give you a little backstory. Okay, so I have a couple of family members that I don't fuck with. Okay, there are 2 in particular that I don't fucks with like that. I don't talk to them. I don't fuck with them at all. Now, one, I couldn't care less if this person lived or died. Like, and that's a whole ooh, child. And it's not a show either. I'm not going to do a show about it, but we're not talking about that person. We're talking about the other person. The other person, this other family member I haven't spoken to in, what is this, 2019? I haven't spoken to this particular person. Yeah, it's been since last year. But before that, it was like a year and a half. And it's, this person is very manipulative. This person, they're very toxic. They're a very toxic person. Okay. Now, my dad and my sister, they always try to why don't you, fuck with this person? And, that's, you got to change it around. Is that really helping you out? I think you're just doing what you want to do and not what you need to be doing. And they do this because they love me. They don't do it because they're being nosy or they're just trying to get in my business. And honestly, if it was literally anybody else on this planet, that's exactly what I would say. Like, you just being nosy. Like, get out my business. But my dad and my sister, they love me. And, my dad, he's been asking me for, just about every time that I talk to him. And finally, one of the last times that I spoke with my dad, he was like, lay it out for me. Like, what's going on? What, tell me about this. And I told him flat out, like, and my dad is the type of person that's like, okay, I get it. He gets it. He may not agree with it, but he gets it. And then, he drops the subject. As soon as you give him a clear and concise answer, because before I'm just like, nah, I ain't fuck with you. Nah, I don't. No, we're not going to talk about this subject because no. But, he doesn't, and he's not one to like press. But when he asked me about this person the last time, I laid it out for him and he was like, okay, I can get behind that. Fine. And he hasn't said nothing to me about it since then. Now, my sister's not one to ask me anything about my personal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't like try to like, she's like, no, that's her. She's her own person. She does her own thing. But like when it comes to certain things, and especially with other family members, she's just like, okay, pause, time out, because what are you doing? Like, what's happening here? And I get where she's coming from. Like this particular family member, is close, and I get where, she's just like, you can't just cut people off. But I can, and I did, and I am, and I will continue to do so. So she calls me last night. She's like, I'm just wanting to know, like, what the fuck happened? Like, why aren't you doing what you need to be doing, trying to mend this relationship? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Now, me and my sister, we don't argue anymore. Like, since becoming adults, we don't argue anymore. We have disagreements, and we were disagreeing loudly. But we weren't arguing. We don't fight. We don't do that because that's childish. Me and my sister, we haven't done that in a very long time. But she's just like, no, because I'm trying to tell you, like, you don't understand. And I'll even tell you her side of it, because I don't like to talk about people or talk about situations and the other person's not there to defend themselves or say whatever. She's like, this person has helped you out when you literally had no one. You've literally had nobody in your corner. These people that you hang around with, that you call your friends and shit, like, they weren't there for you. And this person was. Now, some of the friends that were around, that did know the situation, I get where she's coming from with that. But I've had other friends that I didn't even tell. I don't, because I don't like telling my business. I didn't even tell them the situation. When they found out, when they caught a whiff of what's going on, they were like, no, I'm helping you out. Like, there's no question. I'm not going to ask you, Marissa, do you need help? It was like, boom, I don't got much, but you got what I got. You know what I'm saying? So a shout out to my friends. And these are people that I don't keep in touch with, that I haven't spoken to in years. And they know that if the situation was reversed, I got them. So like, those are like your real good friends. Like, you can pick right back up, and they're busy, you're busy, everybody's living their life. But if any of them got in any kind of trouble, they know that I'd have them, and I know that they would have me because they've already got me before. So, not speaking specifically to those people, the people that knew the situation that was going on, they offered no kind of help. Oh my God, Marissa, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. Like, that sucks. It is what it is. That's fine. But anyway, back to the story. So My sister, my sister, I love my sister to death. She is the person I go to when I'm looking for any type of major advice. Major advice, business advice, mostly business advice. But like anything major, I call her up, hey, so I'm thinking about this idea and I want to do this, and this. And then she'll be like, oh, okay, well, this and this sounds stupid as fuck. Don't do that. But you should probably replace it with this and that. And like we brainstorm. Like we have this beautiful back and forth, and like we get an idea done in like 2.5 seconds, but she's super busy and I'm super busy. Otherwise, I really think that we could come together and help each other out with both of our endeavors. But anyhow, um I love my sister to death, but at the same time, this person is very manipulative, and my sister knows that. My sister knows that, but she's also like that doesn't you should you should just not let them manipulate you. And it's different because me and my sister were raised differently. And she used to always be like, you're spoiled, and you always get this, that, and the other, and don't nobody else get that, or I don't get that. And I'm like, you know what? I've always been like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Like, she's crazy. Like, we grew up together in the same home with the same people. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. She's right. She's absolutely right. I saw that. Like, and I started to see that a few years ago. She was treated differently. She really was. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that she is so strong willed. This woman is formidable, okay? She is so independent and always has been. And even within the black community, lots of people look at black women as so strong that they don't need any help. Like, she got this. She could do it. That's probably why my friends didn't come to my rescue, like when I was drowning. They were like, oh, she's a strong, independent black woman. She'll figure out how to swim. She'll YouTube it. Like, no, like we need help too. What was that story about Serena? I'm doing all of this, by the way, no outline. Like, this is all just freestyle, I guess, and I never do that. I always have an outline. But anyhow, I don't know exactly what the story was. I think it was when Serena Williams had her baby. She was like in a ton of pain, and she kept going to her doctor like, hey, something's wrong, and doctor was just like, oh, I had some Tylenol, you'll be all right. And I mean, because it's Serena Williams, and a pro tennis player, a pro athlete. And so these people, these doctors are sitting here thinking like, well, she be all right. Like, she's Serena Williams. Like, can't nothing touch her. And it turned out it was like a very, very serious condition that needed treatment like immediately. So, and her doctor was just brushing her off because she's a strong, independent black woman. She got this, No, like we still hurt. We still bleed. We still need help. So, and as independent as some people think that I am, my sister is 10 times more independent than me. Like, not more independent, more strong-willed than me. And she's kind of always had to have been. She got her first job, I think, when she was 16. I know she worked at the movie theater and she worked at Sears. Like, she's been working since she was able to work. Me, I didn't get my first job until I was 17. I graduated high school when I was 17. I didn't get my first job until after I graduated high school. Like, come on. No, Charlotte, I don't think she was 16. I think she was 15. I want to say she was 15. I'm not 100% sure. But, like, she had to get a job. I wanted to get a job. We were both given cars, but she's been given like one car by my mom and I think one car by my dad. I've literally had Jesus. I want to say 8 cars that have been given to me. 8 vehicles that have been given to me that I didn't have to pay back, that I didn't get at a buy here, pay here car lot. I have. I've had more vehicles than 8, but 8 have been given to me. So I get where she's like, you're spoiled as fuck. Like, you've never had to want for anything. This one particular family member has always had you. Whereas, and it's not that that particular family member didn't have her. Nobody had her. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody, like, they were like, oh, Charlotte, she's so, like, super strong and independent. She got this. And it's like, no, she needed help too. But at the same time, like, I didn't understand that. I didn't get that. And to be honest with you, there for a while, I'm just like, oh, she got this. She's fine. But she and I are a lot alike. Like, we don't tell people our business. Like, I'm not just going to go out and ask for help. I don't do that. I don't. If somebody knows that I'm in help, they know that I'm in trouble, whatever. Or if I'm just telling somebody, yeah, girl, this messed up thing happened. They're like, oh my God, that's not a normal thing that should happen. You should probably get some help with that. So, like, I've always kind of had, like, this backup, and my sister hasn't. And, like, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't really tell people what's going on in our own personal lives, but my sister plays it way closer to the chest. She's like, whereas I have, 1 or 2 people that I can confide in, and I could be like, hey, like, I need some help or whatever, then she will keep things from people for so long and never say nothing about it. So with all of that, like I said, I don't tell people anything about my business, but like my sister, she knows more about my personal life than anybody does. And like, when I say my personal life, I don't mean like the dudes that I date, but like, okay, situation with my ex. I've told certain friends, they've all gotten the same, like, they know what happened, but some people I just didn't tell everything to. And because I'm embarrassed, like, I'm embarrassed that that happened to me, that I let that happen. And I kept going back to that toxic and abusive relationship. So, but my sister, she knows everything. My sister knows everything that happened between me and my ex, the father of my younger 3 kids. She knows everything that happened because she's one of the few people on this earth that I can actually trust. But not even she knows everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I tell her the absolute most, but there's like 1 or 2, like, the absolute most horriblest of things. I'll be like, I'm not going to tell her that because I don't think she's going to judge me, but I kind of feel like she's going to judge me. Like, she's not a judgy person. She's not like if I were to have told her, she wouldn't be like, oh my God, like, why, you are so fucking stupid for doing that, like, for continuing to be in that situation. She would be like, I know that that's not what she would say, but I fear that that's what she would say. I know that what she'd actually say is something like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, like, you really should have gotten help with that at that time. Like, she's very supportive. It used to not always be that way, but she's since becoming adults, she's always been very supportive, but she never she's real with me. She'll tell me like, okay, like, you're a spoiled brat. But, and like I said, it used to not ever like really be this way all the time. But when I knew that I could trust her, like, she would pick on me so hard. She would be so freaking mean. And I'm not going to say specifics, but we were sisters and she's older than I am. And like, I was being spoiled and doted on, and she was just like, not just like there, like of course, she has stuff too, but it was like, yeah, we had a sibling rivalry, okay? And it was pretty, like, she fucked with me hard. She fucked with me real hard. But I remember this one time, I was riding the bus, and I was going to a complete, no, she had graduated, actually. I think she had already graduated. And I think I was like a freshman, and this other girl on the bus, she was like a junior or senior, and my sister knew who she was. Okay, so this one day, this girl decided that she was going to spread a nasty, filthy, disgusting lie about me. You gotta understand, I started school early. We all started school early. So when I was a freshman in high school, I was 13 years old. And back then, like 13-year-olds back in 2000 and 13-year-olds now in 2019, those are two completely different, like I was still fucking with Barbies. Like I had only had my period for 2 years. Like I was still a child. I was a baby. And she was saying this really disgusting stuff about me. And my sister pretty much threatened her. She was like, no, this isn't gonna happen. Let me hear my sister's name come out of your mouth one more time, and I swear to God, I would drag you. And I never thought that I've never seen her stand up for me. And I didn't even see that incident. That was told to me through the grapevine. And I'm like, are you sure? And that was my sister? No, she don't even like me. Like, but no, but in this type of situation, it was kind of like, I can fuck with you, but nobody else can. I will put hands on anybody else that fucks with you. But I'm going to continue to fuck with you, and I'm going to fuck with you hard. Like, I'm the only one that can do that. But anyhow, so like last night, because I won't make an effort to be in this person's life, this person that I cut off, and I refuse to. Let me stop. I refuse to let this person into my life because they are toxic, and I'm done with that. I'm done being surrounded by toxic people. I'm sick of it. I'm not gonna do it anymore. It's not a secret that this person is a toxic person and will do things, in really messed up ways to get what they want. Like, I'll say this. My niece took my oldest son to see this person a couple of months ago. It really wasn't too awful long ago. And my niece, she was only in town for a little bit. And she was like, she had my oldest son, and she was like, hey, this person wants to know, can they see Peyton? I'm like, all right, that's fine. If I don't have to do anything extra, if I don't have to go in an extra mile, fine, whatever. So then during that time, my niece was like, she calls me up and she was like, hey, so I know what you're going to say, but like, Peyton's about to call you and he's about to ask you if he could stay the night, so that way they can go and do X, Y, and Z tomorrow. And I'm not saying what X, Y, and Z is, because if I do, then some people would know exactly who I'm talking about. But, they could go and do X, Y, and Z the next day. I was like, are you serious? And my niece is like, yeah, okay, I get it now. I get it now. Like, before I was like, you being selfish. Now I get it. Like, this person is manipulative. So, it's not as though I won't let my kids see this person. It's just I'm not going the extra mile because this person is toxic and I don't want them anywhere in my life. I don't want that type of energy around me. And my sister called me selfish and self-serving because of that. And you know what? What's wrong with that? That's what I have to ask. What is wrong with being selfish? When did being selfish become such a bad word? When you're being selfish and unproductive, yeah, that's a bad thing. But if you're a productive person and you're being selfish, like, I mean, what's really wrong with that? I don't go the extra mile to let this person around my kids because honestly, I don't want this person around my kids. I really don't. Because I don't want that negativity, that negative energy to bleed off into my children, because that's something that I got to deal with. That's not something that they got to deal with. That's something that I have to deal with. And I'm not about to let that happen. If I can help it, I'm going to keep my children away from negative energy as much as I possibly can. And I mean, why would I walk into that trap? Like, I know how this person made me feel. Why would I want my children to feel that way? So, yeah, I am being a little bit selfish. I'm being a lot of bit selfish. I'm not gonna waste my money going to this person's house. They live like 2 towns over. I'm not wasting my gas money. Like, I'm doing okay, but I'm still kind of struggling. I'm still a single mom. Like, I still have stuff to do. So no, like, I don't have the money to just, you know, skip off a couple of towns over for half a day. Like, I got stuff that I'm doing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. Um, I'm trying to teach my kids that no matter what the situation is, no matter who the person is, don't you ever let somebody's negative vibe around yours, because it's going to fuck you up. I'm trying to lead by example. Okay? And I'm telling my kids, like, I'm trying to show them, I don't care who the hell it is. I don't care if it's your friend. I don't care if it's your minister. I don't care if it's your boss. I don't care if it's your coworker. I don't care if it's a family member. I don't care if it's me. If I'm giving you negative energy, you don't need to be around me, because that's going to fuck you up. It's going to fuck you up in the long run. And as much as that would hurt me as a mother, I also have to understand the fact that I'm not doing my child I'm doing my child a disservice by having my negative energy around them. Now, me personally, if that becomes an issue ever, I'm going to change it. Because why would I want my child to be around negative energy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to feed that into my children. But this particular person does not give any fucks. They're not willing to change. And I'm done. Like, I am who I am. You gonna be who you gonna be. And we just don't mesh well. So, deuces. Like, bye. I'm not about to. This person plays so many freaking head games and then runs back and tells my sister and my niece, the conversations that we have is no. So you can get them on your side. Like, first of all, I'm not even doing sides. Like, it is what it is. But you're just going to run back. Oh my God, Marissa did this. Like, really? First of all, keep my name out your mouth. Second of all, don't be telling everybody about my business, because I'm not there to defend whatever lie you're saying. I'm mad, y'all. I'm mad, but then I'm not mad. Like, I'm mad, I'm angry that I had to have that conversation, and I'm disappointed that my sister still doesn't get it. She don't get it. She's like, well, you're being selfish, and that's fucked up, and you're taking away from what the kids could be growing up with, because you don't want to fuck with this person. Yeah, and I don't want to fuck with this person for a good reason. I don't just be cutting people off left and right all willy-nilly for no reason. If I cut you off, there's a reason. I may not tell you the reason. I may not tell anybody else the reason. But if I cut you off, there's a reason for it. And if you don't understand the reason, well, that sounds like a personal problem to me. So I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm already busy enough. And I don't see this particular person, as a priority in my life, not even in the lowest of forms. And if that sounds fucked up, I'm sorry, I guess. No, you know what? I'm not sorry. I'm sick and tired of apologizing for my feelings. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. Not at all. This is absolute bullshit that I keep getting all of this, oh, you're a fucked up person for not wanting, this person. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm not just talking about this one particular family member. I'm talking about like friends. I've cut friends off completely. Completely. If you're not being a good friend, I'm not going to sit up here and fucking beg you to be a good friend. We're going to have one heart to heart. If you don't get it by then, deuces. Obviously, you wasn't riding for me. And that's fine. That's okay. People learn, people live, people grow. People grow out of situations. And that's okay. I hope the best for these people. I really do. But I'm over here and I'm doing my thing. If you want to be in my area, in my space, you have to earn that shit. And just because we share DNA, that doesn't mean nothing. That doesn't mean a damn thing. Not a damn thing. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. It wasn't about any one particular act that this person did. It's everything in it mixed into one. You know, my sister had, she was telling me last night, like, this person was forcing you to stop being such a spoiled, bratty child and forcing you to grow up. And, because you wouldn't have grown up if this person hadn't made you. Well, I'm like, okay, but this person was actually quite literally forcing me out. And I've never been one to overstay my welcome. This is what I should have told her. I've never been one to overstay my welcome. If I'm feeling like, okay, if you are getting sick of me, I'm a dip. I'm a fly, I'm a go. And this particular person, I did stay with them quite a few times and for a while. And each and every time, they're like, I can't fucks with you anymore. Okay. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, well, where are you gonna go? I don't fucking know, but you just told me that, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm sensing some conflicting emotions here. Like, I need you to be clear on what it is that you're one. Well, you need to save up some money. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm like, okay. But then the very next day, I'm getting that same, vibe, that same, get the fuck out of here vibe. And I'm like, I really don't know what you want me to do. And then when I do leave, when I do move out, when I do leave, it's just kind of literally every reason to get me right the fuck back in. It's like, man, I can't win for losing with this person, And my sister was like, this particular person did. I'm sorry, I had to re-record this 8 times because I kept forgetting. But anyhow, this particular person has done all of this stuff for you, and they've da-da-da and da-da-da and this and that and this and that, and they really was there for you when literally nobody else was. But here's the thing, anytime somebody else is there for me, this person is just like, okay, gone, deuces, cut the fuck off. The few things that you are depending on me for, they're gone now, because this person wanted me to depend on them solely and 100%. A lot like my ex. My ex used to tell me shit like, you're not going anywhere. Where are you going to go? You know where your meal ticket is. That was his favorite thing to say to me. You know where your meal ticket is. Because I was telling my mom, he wouldn't let me get a job, and then he wouldn't let me go back to school. I was stuck, and literally every single time that I started thinking or talking about going back to work or getting back into school, he would literally, I would pop up pregnant just a handful of months later or right before that deadline. And I understand it takes 2 to tango, but when you living with somebody and you horny as fuck, things happen, okay? But also, birth control pills go up missing. Literally every single time I started talking about doing something with my life, this person held me down, kept me in my place. So, and I asked her, well, what's the difference between this particular family member and my ex? It's the same thing. She was like, no, it's not the same thing, because your ex was physically and mentally abusive. I said, no, just because someone isn't physically abusive, which talking about the family member, just because somebody isn't physically abusive doesn't mean that they're not abusive. You can be emotionally abusive. That's a thing. That is a real life thing. And I'm not gonna put myself in that position. I'm sorry, I'm not. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry, I'm not. Not sorry. I'm not gonna do that. And this ultimately is my life. She doesn't have to live my life. My sister doesn't have to live my life for me. Nobody is living my life for me. I am the only one that is going to be living my life. So if it's only me that's in my motherfucking life that I'm having to live, I'm going to surround it with positivity. Now, when my kids get older, and they've already asked me, why can't we go to this person's house? I haven't seen this person in a long time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I tell them because, we live too far away now. And that's the actual excuse as to why we don't go and see a lot of our friends in, in our old town, because we live too far away. Seriously, we really do. I used to frequently go out there, but now I don't anymore. And like I said, I have very limited gas, and my friends are busy. It's fine. Like FaceTime, like that's a thing. So, my kids are like, well, why don't we go to this particular person's house? Like, I haven't seen them in a while, and I want to see them. And I'm like, because we live too far away. When they get older, I'm going to explain to them, listen, there are certain people that are going to be in your life. And some of those people aren't going to need to be in your life. They're going to want to be in your life, but they're not supposed to be there. And you can tell who these people are because of how you feel when you're around them. You start feeling drained. You start feeling mentally exhausted. If you have a conversation with this person and then feel less about yourself than you did before coming into the conversation, you don't need to be around that person. That's a toxic person. You don't need to be around that at all. No one should ever make you feel like you are less than a human being. No one should ever make you feel like you are less than who you are. And that's the reason why we don't go and see this particular person. When they get older, I'll explain it to them that way. And if they want to go off and have a relationship with this person, that's perfectly fine. If they want to do that now, that's perfectly fine. That is absolutely fine. But that person is toxic, and I don't trust that person. I do not trust that person at all. And it is what it is. It is what it is. So anyhow, I just needed to get that off of my chest. Like, sis, I was mad. I was mad that I had to have that conversation. But I'm more like, I don't know. I'm more happy that I'm able to stand my ground now, because I used to be such a pushover. You know what I mean? Like, somebody could have one conversation, it changes my mind completely. And now it's like, it's only been recently, since these last few years, that it's just like, okay, like, I can be as stubborn as you. I can be more stubborn than you. But anyhow, message for the day: don't let toxic people in your life, and don't let other people make you feel bad about leaving those toxic people in the wasteland. Don't let nobody make you feel bad about that. Don't let them. It is your life. You're the only one that has to live it. You are. And you have to ask yourself before you cut somebody off, is my life going to be better without this person, worse without this person, or is it going to stay the same? If it stays the same, or your life is going to be worse without this person, then maybe you should rethink it. But if your life is going to be better, cut them out. Cut them out. If they are doing you no favors, cut them out. And my sister, one last thing about it, my sister kept saying, well, when you were staying with this person, your kids, like, the kids are going to be kids, and they're going to run, and they're going to do stuff, and they're going to break shit. But your kids broke shit. Your kids broke shit. And I'm like, okay, and I've replaced the shit that they've broken. Like, I'm sure this particular person didn't tell you that. Like, I replay shit. Like, I'm but she's like, you weren't living up to your fullest potential, to your highest potential. And this particular person was getting pissed off about that, because we all know that you can do better, Marissa. You just don't. You just didn't at the time. And now you actually are doing better with everything that you're doing in your life. And that's great and wonderful. But you have to understand the fact that there was a time that you weren't doing better. And it was getting annoying and frustrating seeing all of this potential go to waste. And I'm like, okay, but you don't understand the whole story. You don't understand the full story. You weren't there. You were there during particular times. You were there when certain things were said, but you were not there for the entire situation. You don't know the entire situation. And honestly, at this point, for something that I have already cut completely out of my life, I'm not trying to rehash what the fuck happened. I'm not trying to justify why I take a toxic person out of my life. I don't feel as though I need to justify that. They're toxic, so they're gone. That's it. That's it. Like, I'm a real cold, chill person, and it takes a lot to, like, piss me the hell off. And to be honest with you, this person doesn't piss me off. They don't piss me off. They're not relevant to my life right now. They are not, they were a relevant piece in my life. And I was a relevant piece in their lives. And maybe I was toxic for them. Maybe I was the toxicity. Either way it goes, we don't mesh well. We can't have a regular, normal relationship. There's no way in hell that can even happen. There's no way in hell. I am in my early 30s. My early 30s. I'm already grown the fuck up. I'm already grown. I'm already grown. I'm not about to start all over again. I'm not about to do it. With a person that I've literally known all of my life? No, I'm not about to do that. Sorry, not sorry. But I've already formed the relationships that I'm going to form, the lasting relationships that I'm going to form. Right now I'm working on forming business relationships. And I don't care. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care. I know it sounds like so, and especially for the people that know who I'm talking about and know the situation. Some people are like, yeah, but you don't understand. It's literally always been this way. Because they saw certain sides that, you know what, we're not going to get into it. This is the last time that I'm going to give life into this situation. It's the last time that I am going to talk about this particular person in this way. It's not, they're irrelevant. So that's that. That is that. We are going to have an episode tomorrow. Today is Thursday, March 21st. Oh my God, it is March 21st. Oh, where has the time gone? It has flown by. Excuse me, March 21st. We will have an episode tomorrow, Friday, March 22nd, 2019. That one's going to be a fun one. That one's going to be a lighthearted one. And you know what? I really kind of feel as though like a little bit of my hiatus has a little bit to do with emotionally recovering from the Neverland story, because I'm still so disgusted. Oh my God. If you haven't listened to Disgusted by Neverland, go listen to it. Go listen to it, sis. It's pretty gross. But anyhow, yes, we will be back tomorrow with a much more uplifting theme topic for the show. Let's see. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already, at TQT Podcast. You can also follow me on Facebook at the Queen's Table Podcast. And if you have any show topic ideas, questions, concerns, what have you, or if you want your Black-owned business to be promoted in this on this show, in this episode, on this show, please email me at tqtpodcast@gmail.com. The person that I was wanting to promote for this week has not gotten back with me on a handful of things, and I don't want to put out there, half information. I want to put out there all of the information that I have. I want you to have as well. So let's go ahead and give another shout out to Good Vibe Raps. I'm telling you, this girl's blowing up. If you don't follow her on Instagram already, you need to. It's at G Vibe Raps. You can also find her on Etsy at Good Vibe Raps. Y'all go show a sister some love, for real. She wire wraps jewelry and crystals and stuff. And like, you can have say if I had a quartz that was already charged, I could send that in to her and be like, hey, can you wrap that for me? And she'll do it. So definitely look her up. She's definitely somebody to keep an eye on. She's going places. She's absolutely going places. So anyhow, I guess that's a wrap. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, y'all. We all came from Africa, so stay